I'm in the biggest Middle East business aviation show. Now there's so many top of the line brand new business jet behind me. I'm gonna take you for a tour, see which plane you like and which plane you might want to buy. So guys, I'm inside a G500. This is the latest Gulfstream airplane. It's very comfortable. It's got this mid-cabin, and you know, Gulfstream's trade.
This week, the Luxury Channel takes to the sky in some of the world's most spectacular private jets.
I believe that over time, we will all move around the planet in a very different way. Selling planes to rich people is more fun than rock and roll. This is rock and roll for grown-ups.
I love flying in these planes. We're flying 27, 28,000 feet. It's landing on shorter runways. It's using less fuel. It's cost effective, and it's a pleasure. It's just great fun.
You don't have to get to the airport 2 hours ahead. Get there 10 minutes ahead, put your luggage in the plane, you go. Once you've experienced it, it's tough to go back the other way.
In this program, we take a look at some of the flying machines which carry the wealthiest people on the planet between their transcontinental engagements. We meet the man who designs the interiors of some of these flying palaces, fly around the world with TAG Aviation, and catch a sneak preview of the world's first supersonic private jet. For the last 5 years, the private jet business has been steadily on the rise. Order backlogs are bulging, waiting times have been getting longer, and most importantly, brand new machines from all of the world's biggest manufacturers are coming onto the menu. But clouds have gathered on the horizon.
It's very interesting times. Demand is down by 40% globally. Manufacturers are suffering. We've heard about the layoffs, but it's an industry which isn't going to disappear overnight. Total value is about $170 billion. And employs hundreds of thousands of people, engineers, designers, total service providers. It's just phenomenal, it really is.
We flew into Geneva for the 9th annual eBase show to find out how the movers and shakers in business aviation are responding to the new challenges. Over 400 manufacturers, airlines and brokerage firms are plying their wares at this year's show. And across the road at Geneva's International Airport, the 10,000 attendees were treated to a sprawling apron of 65 new business aircraft, fueled up and ready for takeoff.
eBase is a chance for a potential owner or an existing owner to see the whole range of aircraft that are available. It's also a good chance to meet the manufacturers. Buyers tend to be very low profile, it's very discreet. You wouldn't have no idea that you're standing next to a buyer if you're walking into an aircraft.
Airbus has been in commercial aviation for almost 40 years, and today the company employs around 57,000 people across 4 countries, producing over half of the world's jet airliners. The company's private jets are produced by Airbus corporate jetliners, and they've sold more than 100 of these planes in the 12 years since the sideline began.
We make the world's most modern airliners, and we take those airliners and we turn them into corporate jets. If you're going to a G20 summit, you'd better arrive, otherwise your voice is not going to be heard. Our Airbus corporate jet customers are either billionaires or well on the way to becoming billionaires.
Naturally, the sort of person who forks out millions of pounds for an aeroplane is liable to be a little fussy, and Chief Cabin Attendant Urs Schenk has seen it all.
I'm an old fox into this business, as you can see, and I have grey hair sometimes also because of this business. You need to have some life experience because you have sometimes very special passengers you would never find somewhere else. So people, they never flew with a regular airline, they know only private aircrafts. We are not allowed to give you names, but we fly presidents, we fly royals, and we fly rich families. There are many, many stories. I was planned to have 12 children. Only children. I organized everything with balloons. I had only comics. I had Big Macs catered and all for kids. And then I got 12 African presidents, you know. And I asked them, would you like to eat this junk food? Or do we have to wait for the catering? And they still remember the junk food. They had so much fun with the comics and everything. And they still remember this flight.
Private jets cost money, lots of money. A new one can set you back up to $400 million. It'll cost you $100,000 just to install a shower.
The sofa that you're sitting on costs tens of thousands of dollars, not because it's any different than your sofa at home, but it has to withstand all the rigors of flame testing and structural components. An airplane, as you know, flies, and so there is a great deal of business related to the safety of it.
So how do these jet setters justify such extravagance?
The first guy that showed up with an automobile was a fat cat. Well, no, he was more efficient, he could cover more territory and do more sales.
At the top of a multinational company, the chief executive may be getting paid $15 million a year, and it doesn't make sense for that guy to spend hours sitting around an airport.
While it's certainly true that owning your own jet is largely the preserve of the mega rich, enjoying the benefits of business aviation is becoming ever more affordable.
Using aircraft has never been so accessible. There are a number of innovative products which have been launched over the last 8 to 9 years. The fractional model, which is pioneered by a chap called Richard Santulli in the United States, a company called NetJets. What you do is you buy a physical share of an aircraft, and the costs are then apportioned amongst a group of buyers, and you've got guaranteed availability anywhere in the world.
We're one of the largest airlines in the world, but usually beneath the radar, so to speak. Our customers are a cross-section of just about everybody out there who uses business aviation. So, of course, corporations, governments, high net worth individuals. There are some celebrities at the very high end of the spectrum, whether it's sports stars or rock and roll stars who use our service. But for the most part, it's just people whose time is very important and who want to save money versus the cost of buying their own aircraft.
There are also air taxi operators, Blink in the UK being one. And the idea is that you hop from city to city. Cost per seat is relatively low for the jet market.
My business partner and I started this about 3 years ago when we were doing our MBAs in the United States, and we saw the power of the very light jets as a disruptive technology that's got the power to change how people travel. And so we said, you know what, there's got to be an opportunity here. The idea was that if we bought a subfleet of these things and integrated them in, they could put someone who makes less than $50,000 a year of annual salary on one of the planes, and it would save them money.
While borrowing someone else's plane is one way to break into the market, nowadays even owning your own is becoming increasingly possible. Honda is possibly more famous for ferrying people about on the road than in the sky, but for $3.5 million they'll sell you one of these, a brand new Honda jet.
Aviation has always been a dream for Honda. Our associates love a challenge. We build some of the world's best automobiles and motorcycles, and now we're taking to the air with the Honda Jet. Many of our customers are what we call owner-operators. They're people who fly planes themselves. We offer free flight training, and you would come to our facility in the United States. We would train you how to fly the Honda Jet. This aircraft will be single pilot certified, so an individual would be able to fly the Honda Jet maybe with his family off on a vacation over the weekend, but he could also use it for business during the week, so it's really a great way to travel.
You don't have to be a Mick Jagger to fly in a private jet.
Traditionally, the so-called Big Five in business jet production has been made up of Cessna, Dassault, Gulfstream, Bombardier, who build the Gates Learjet, and Hawker Beechcraft. And encouragingly, all of these firms currently have at least one new model in development. However, Brazilian-based Embraer is rapidly turning the Big Five into a Big Six by adding to their portfolio with this, the 36-meter Lineage 1000, Embraer's largest jet to date.
Welcome on board the Lineage 1000 from Embraer. It's a pleasure to have you on board. This is the basically the place where we prepare the meat and the meals and the drinks. The area where we are here right now is an area for the crew, where they can rest, they can sit and rest and then go back for their duties later on. This area here is for the passengers, where they stay, they have dinner or lunch, they can watch movies. This is the place where people can rest. They can, some aircraft, not this one, not a specific one, have a bed here, a king-size bed. And they can even have a shower here when the aircraft is fitted with the equipment, which is not the case for that airplane.
You can get this plane for $43 million, so it's 4,500 nautical mile airplane for 19 people and lots of room. The convenience that a business jet provides is unparalleled. You cannot visit the same amount of places in a given time frame using commercial transport than you can do with a business jet.
With a 25% share in the traditional market for business jets, American-based Gulfstream Aerospace, part of the General Dynamics Group, are the lords of the top end.
Gulfstream builds these aircraft and sells them. The first Gulfstream, the G1, was the first purpose-built business aircraft, a mobile office, a time-saving machine that enables you to work comfortably, but to travel safely, reliably, dependably around the world. Can you imagine not having a cell phone or a BlackBerry in today's environment? For the business person doing business internationally, this is actually a distinct advantage over the guy that's got to fly commercial. The Gulfstream G550, the aircraft that we're currently sitting in, is our top-of-the-line aircraft. The air in this cabin is recycled every 90 seconds. You can use your laptop at 50,000 feet in most places around the world, same speed as you do in your home office. We don't have a show special here, but if you've got $52 million, we'll talk turkey with you right now.
Coming up in part 2, we meet a designer of private jet interiors and take a look at the fastest business jet in history. London-based designer Andrew Winch has been working out interiors for houses and yachts for 23 years, but in 2003 he was commissioned to design his first aeroplane interior in collaboration with Lufthansa for this towering 737.
People enjoy building their own planes because they are very busy people and they like to be in their own environment. They are time poor.
We went to visit Andrew at his studio on the edge of the Thames in Barnes, which he had converted from a fire station in 1987.
After 23 years of working as a designer, we built this business up, my wife and I and my colleagues here now, my 4 other directors. We've got 35 people here. We're all designers. We're all in the design industry, all of us. and we're all in the business of delivering a successful product. Designing anything for me starts with a discussion with the client. It's always better when it's direct from the guy who's paying the bill, when it's actually talking to them. So I've got no worries about talking kings, queens, sheikhs, industry, oligarchs. I sit here with them at the table, they join me in this room, and within probably an hour and a half, I know exactly what they want. Once we understand the client's dream, we will turn that dream into paper drawings. We will take pencils, take crayons, take pens, and take the computer, and we will start to plan with dimensions the whole arrangement of the plane. We'll also look at the fuselage, the livery, the embodiment of the design idea. Then there are areas which have structure, and you have to attach to certain structure. There'll be areas that have to have weight considerations for the balance of the plane. So we'll turn all of those into drawings. Then we'll turn them into 3D sketches with pencil, and then we'll turn those into probably CAD illustrations. We'll do watercolour painting of the interior, and then often, like the pictures behind me, we'll turn them into full three-dimensional CAD visualizations. We will create a walkthrough, a one-to-one walkthrough of the entire plane, where every object in that CAD visualization has been three-dimensionally drawn, from a Coca-Cola can to a new design chair. So we do go to a very, very finite level of detail. I'm delivering their dream back to them. I'm creating the reality.
At 80 years old, and with a multitude of business jets, fighter aircraft, rockets, and even conceptual spaceships under its belt, France's own Dassault Aviation have made aviation technology a way of life.
It's close to a century history, so to make it short is difficult. You know, the company was founded by a genius engineer, an entrepreneur, Mr. Marcel Dassault, and who started to make himself known in aviation at the very beginning of aviation by creating a propeller that was used on the first fighters during the First World War, on the Spats, which dramatically increased the efficiency of these first fighter jets. Altogether, the company produced over 7,000 fighter jets, which is quite considerable for a European manufacturer. The Mirage name became known worldwide and contributed to build the image of the company as one of the leading fighter jet manufacturers, mastering technology not only in aerodynamics but also in system design. If you want to fly at 2 times the speed of sound for a fighter jet, you can't do that if you don't have good aerodynamic engineers.
Dassault's 23.5-metre Falcon 7X is the first business jet to make full use of the groundbreaking fly-by-wire technology. Here, redundant computer systems are installed between the pilot and the aeroplane's mechanical surfaces. So if he makes a mistake, his own plane will set him right.
We have to be competitive. These jets are expensive. In the States, they have a say, the National Business Aircraft Association, no plane, no gain. So really a business jet is a profit machine.
While technology can doubtless make you more efficient, it can also help simply to enrich the flying experience itself. In October 1977, history was made when a Pan Am Boeing 747 SP was flown around the world in a little over 53 hours. Incredibly, the record remained unbroken for more than 3 decades until November of last year, when a team of pilots from UK-based TAG Aviation decided they'd try it themselves.
Corporate aviation probably represents a number of things, and clearly it's a business tool, it's obviously a leisure tool for many people, but it's also fun. It's also something that can allow you to push the envelope in terms of aviation. Hence, 31 years this record stood. Now we've got aircraft that have the same range as a 747, the same speeds virtually as a 747, and yet are small enough and nimble enough to pull this off.
It's one of the records that hadn't been beaten. Like I say, Concorde did set a lot of records that are completely out of reach, of course, because of the speed. And with this airplane, we managed to beat it, which was not possible, with any other airplane before.
Although the battle was to be waged in the air, it would be won or lost on the ground. In order to break the record, the team would have to complete each of their 5 fuel stops in under 40 minutes. But incredibly, the men were back in the air after an average of only 32 minutes, ultimately smashing the 1977 record by almost an hour.
The whole thing went like clockwork. I mean, it was absolutely remarkable.
We were very, very well organized. We had 5 pilots. Everybody knew when their duty time was on and off. So everybody knew when their rest period was coming.
Anytime you get on a flight, the chances of you having 5 flights, one after the other, they're all on time, everybody does their job perfectly, nobody makes a mistake, it's pretty unusual. The highlight for us really was bringing it back. I mean, clearly the pilots and the crew had been on the aircraft for 52 hours. We were able to have a party. All the family were there as the aircraft taxied in. We had our fire trucks, created an arch for the aircraft to taxi through.
I mean, I dream about it all the time. I still find myself once in a while dreaming that, I still have that record to beat, and I wake up and say, no, I've done it. So it really is a dream come true.
Travelling at 35,000 feet, however, has its drawbacks.
We are, by definition, an emitter. We pollute.
Carbon emission is quite a topical subject, not just in aviation, but across the board, and it's an issue which needs to be addressed, and there has to be some accountability. The flip side to that is obviously that jobs are being created, and economies are growing because of these aircraft.
We're very aware of the environment and we do everything we can to improve. That said, aviation is only 2% of the carbon dioxide emissions in the world. So if the world is serious about reducing carbon dioxide, then you need to go where the big generators are, which is essentially the heating of buildings.